Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. So we got Vergil Ortiz fighting Israil Madrimov on the February 22nd card in Saudi Arabia. This fight has been put together very quickly in the wake of Boots Ennis turning down the opportunity to fight Vergil Ortiz, which is very disappointing. And you wonder whether his dad had anything to do with that decision, because he seems to be a very controlling character in Boots' career. And I don't think he's necessarily the best influence on him, in my personal opinion. He certainly doesn't give the best instructions in the corner. So instead, we've got Vergil Ortiz against Israil Madrimov. Now, the strange thing here is that Madrimov has still got a fight scheduled against Serhij Boachuk on the Usyk Fury undercard later this month. Boachuk is a very tough fighter. He just gave Vergil Ortiz absolute hell. So is Madrimov really going to come through him and be fresh enough to fight Vergil Ortiz 2 months later with basically no rest? That's very strange. I have to say that Ortiz Madrimov has got a question mark next to it, because even if Boachuk doesn't beat Madrimov, there's a very good chance he gives him a tough fight, one which Madrimov may need time to recover from. Anyway, we'll see. Let's provisionally assume that this Ortiz Madrimov fight is going to go ahead. It may not be as popular a fight in the United States as Ortiz Boots Ennis would have been, but some might argue, and they might be right to argue this, that Madrimov is actually a more difficult opponent for Ortiz than Boots would have been, based on recent form. Madrimov pushed Terence Crawford very, very close, right to the wire. What I will say, however, is I suspect that Madrimov is one of these guys that prefers to fight guys who box him rather than guys who pressure him. And Terence Crawford, for the most part, boxed Madrimov. Vergil Ortiz likes to pressure his opponents, likes to hit you with that solid jab, work your body, and throw combinations up top. Madrimov has got very underrated footwork. He bounces in and out of range constantly. He's got that classic Soviet style where he kind of fences with the jab and looks to set up the straight right hand, and he disguises it with that bounce. He throws your timing off. He arguably gave Terence Crawford his toughest fight to date. He'll be looking to go one better against Vergil Ortiz and actually get the win. This fight will be for Ortiz's WBC interim World Super Welterweight title. It's a fascinating clash of styles. Ortiz, of course, was down a couple times in his last fight against Boachuk. He didn't look seriously hurt, but he did hit the deck. I think this is going to be a very entertaining fight. I think it's going to be a battle of the jabs, particularly in the early rounds. But as things progress, I think Ortiz is going to start walking Madrimov down, and he's going to attempt to drag him into the trenches. Whether or not he's strong enough at 154 or skillful enough to do so remains to be seen. But if he can drag Madrimov into the trenches, then Ortiz will probably have the upper hand. But truth be told, I'm struggling to split these two. In fact, I'm going to have to sit on the fence. If I do manage to make my mind up between now and fight night, then I'll make another video about it and give you my prediction. But for now, yeah, I find it very difficult to split them. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Another great fight on a fantastic card. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And also make sure you check out my Patreon content. I just uploaded this video about Julian Jackson and Gerald McClellan. It's a film study where I analyze video footage of several of their fights in the run-up to their historic middleweight clash, which ended in devastating fashion. Two of the biggest punching middleweights of all time. If you want to access this video along with hundreds of hours worth of other exclusive boxing content, as well as our members chat, just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called the Boxing Brotherhood. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android, because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.